In Kenyan politics, impeachment is often intended as a political death sentence. Yet, as history repeatedly shows, it can also be a rebirth. The impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua fits squarely into this paradox. Rather than silencing him, the process has elevated him into one of the most consequential political voices in the country today, exposed not only deep fractures within the Kenyan Kwanza government, but also the growing perception of the current president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto's failure in leadership. Gashagu's impeachment was framed as a constitutional and moral necessity. Officially, it was about conduct, governance, and alleged excesses of power. Politically, however, it was widely understood as a power struggle, an attempt to neutralize a deputy president who had become increasingly independent, outspoken, and disruptive to the carefully managed unity narrative of the Ruto administration. The speed and coordination with which the impeachment machinery moved suggested not accountability but a light consensus to eliminate liability. Yet, the outcome has not gone as planned. Instead of fading into irrelevance, Gachagua has become a symbol of resistance, especially among voters who already feel betrayed by the promises of the Kenyan Kwanza government. His impeachment has transformed him from a controversial insider into a political martyr, someone who can now speak without the constraints of office and without collective cabinet responsibility. In doing so, he has tapped into a deep vein of public frustration, economic pain, rising taxation, broken promises, and allied hypocrisy. This is where President Ruto's leadership failure becomes most visible. See, a confident, effective leader who would have absorbed dissent, managed internal contradictions, and addressed the root causes of public anger. Instead, Ruto's administration has leaned heavily on suppression, discipline, and political purges, mistaking control for leadership. Gashagua's impeachment is emblematic of this failure. Rather than solving the internal contradictions of Kenya Kwanza, it has exposed them. Ruto rose to power, branding himself as a champion of the hustler, an outsider who understood the pain of ordinary Kenyans. 2 years later, that narrative has collapsed under the weight of punitive taxation, IMF driven austerity, and political class that appears increasingly detached from the public suffering. In this context, Gashagua's post impeachment rhetoric, angry, raw, and accusatory, resonates. He speaks the language of betrayal, and betrayal is a powerful political currency. Ironically, however, it is Ruto's failure to maintain moral authority that has made Gachagua credible again. The president's inability to unite his coalition, protect his deputy, or convincingly explain why impeachment was necessary has left many Kenyans unconvinced. To them, Gachagua does not look like a corrupt official being punished. He looks like a fall guy in a government struggling to manage its own contradictions. This is perception, whether accurate or not, has political consequences. Gashagua's impeachment has sharpened ethnic and regional anxieties that Ruto had promised to transcend. The sense that Mount Kenya's political influence is being restructured or sidelined has given Gachagua a ready-made constituency. He now positions himself as a spokesperson for regional discontent, a role that would have been impossible while serving as a deputy president. Now, from a strategic standpoint, Ruto's handling of the situation reflects a broader weakness, an over-reliance on elite calculations and underestimation of popular sentiment. Kenyan politics is not won in parliamentary arithmetic alone. It is shaped by emotion, symbolism, and narrative. On that front, Gachagua has won the post-impeachment battle. He controls the story of betrayal, injustice, and political intrigue, while the government appears defensive and reactive. What makes Gachagua particularly notable today is not just his defiance, but his freedom. He is no longer constrained by collective responsibility, diplomatic language, or state protocol. Every speech becomes an event. Every accusation forces the government to respond. In contrast, Ruto appears trapped by the very system he commands, unable to inspire, forced to justify, and increasingly isolated from the public mood. Ultimately, Gachagua'S impeachment has revealed a painful truth about Ruto's presidency. Authority without legitimacy is fragile. You can impeach a deputy, but you cannot impeach public anger. You can silence dissent in government, but you cannot suppress it in the streets or in political memory. So, in trying to remove a problem, Ruto may have created a rival. Gachagua'S political future remains uncertain though, but his relevance is undeniable. He now occupies a space that Kenyan politics always creates for the fallen insider, part victim, part whistler, part populist challenger. And as long as the economic pain persists and leadership appears disconnected, that space will only grow. In that sense, Gachagua'S impeachment was not just about one's fall from office, it's a mirror held up to a presidency struggling to lead, to listen, and to persuade. And for William Ruto, that may be the most damaging outcome of all.